So today has been a really busy day on podcast interview, and I want to have you listen in to a couple of my answers of how do you come up with pricing for your agency, and what are some mistakes that agencies make with your pricing. I think the most common one is them just reaching in their back pocket and just kind of pulling out a number of kind of just saying like, and then they question it. They're like 20,000. I'm like, what? I was like, how do you come up with a value? I think they just don't know. Like, I think the biggest thing that agency owners do wrong, well, there's 1,000 things. And look, I can beat all of you up because I've done all 1,000 and probably a million of them. But I think it's not understanding what value you actually deliver to your clients. And if you don't understand that, then you're not able to price it the right way. And you're just pricing it based on what you've done in the past. Or some agencies charge by the hour, right? Which I understand why. So like we start off, like someone offers us to do a website. Like I got my start from making this kind of parody website, making fun of my friend that looked like Justin Timberlake and NSYNC, and I called it In Shit. And it got really popular in 1999, back when Al Gore invented the internet, I guess. And people started asking me to design websites, and I just pulled it out of my back pocket. It was like $500. And then I started realizing that scope creep and people asking for a ton of things started eating into my profit. And so then I said, well, I'm going to charge hourly, and that won't ever happen. But then that penalized me when I got faster and more efficient, or when my team got more efficient. And so then I go, well, what do I need to do? And then I started realizing the strategies and the tactics I needed to do to, make sure I was getting, 40% margins and above. Everything like you're doing in your agency is all about saving your clients time, because they can go figure out what you know. It'll just take them time. And so you're speeding that up for them. But as you start getting more efficient, so let's say you take on a similar client and you're doing a website, or you're doing the same strategy that you've done in another market. Well, you're going to be more efficient, which is going to cost you money in the long run, right? You're losing profit. You're not losing money, but you're losing profit because you're taking more time. It's like the thing of the guy coming in to fix your refrigerator, right? He looks at your refrigerator, he goes in the very back, he turns the screw, and it works. And then he gives you an invoice for $1,000. And you literally like, dude, do you make $1,000 in 1 minute? He's like, no. Let me break out the invoice for you. Turning the screw is only $100, but knowing which screw to turn is the $999.90. Well, they need to ask the right questions, okay? So a lot of times what I remember people going through was they would get a prospect calling them, and then they would dive into talking about their process and their portfolio and their stupid case studies that no one cares about, right? Rather than asking questions of going like, why do you need a website? What is this going to be doing? How does this affect you? What's your particular problem? Asking questions and putting the attention on themselves, on the prospect, rather than their self as an agency. That's why, we have 2 ears and 2 eyes and 1 mouth, right? You should listen and watch a little bit more than you're actually speaking. Well, I think there's 2 ways that I would come up with pricing for our projects and our clients. The first one is probably the easiest one, is to look back at the time that it took you on a similar project and then start bumping up, right? So for example, if something took me 100 hours, just to make it easy math, I would bump it up 25% for unknowns and 25% for profit. So automatically on top, I'm bumping up 50%, and that's on the floor, right? So that would be the floor of what I'm not going to go under. And then what I would do is I would look at what's their expectation. What do they expect? You know, I remember getting a call many, many years ago from a company that I never heard of. Rocked the call, got the meeting, went into their meeting, had this huge conference room. All these people came in. I was outnumbered. I was like, oh my God, who is this company? Literally pitched them on a website. I think I pitched like a $15,000 website. They were expecting a $400,000 website. The company was Berkshire Hathaway, right? So I didn't get the right expectations up front, because look, if they're expecting X here, like up top, and then you come way under it, they're going to be like, oh, you don't get it. And it's a risky decision. And in order to like make someone commit to you, you got to make it less risky. You got to make them feel comfortable and trust you. And, you know, because at the end of the day, no one's going to lose a project based on price, right? It's always about, like, price is irrelevant. If I'm about to have a heart attack, am I going to ask the doctor how much it is to save my life? I'm like, no, I'll figure out how to pay for it later. It's about urgency. And so you guys need to be urgency detectives and figure out what's the result that you can actually deliver to them. All right, so if you liked this episode, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment below, and until next time, have a swank day.